Welcome to our unique financial channel. Folks, there's nothing else like it on YouTube. You're going to find a wealth of information as you watch these videos. We're going to give you a unique perspective on financial concepts like sequence of returns risk, compound growth, asset allocation, the impact of inflation, 4% rule, and so on. We use actual numbers from the S&P 500, and we've created dozens of spreadsheets just showing people some of these concepts. I often hear people saying, "Have I saved up enough?" Let's look at somebody that's in 35 years old, 35 years old, and we're going to look at somebody that has saved up the average. According to the Federal Reserve, the average retirement account balance for individuals 35 and younger is 49,130. So let's take that average for 49,130 beginning balance. Now, let's say you're making $60,000 a year and you can save 5% of that. So what we're going to do is uh, add to this 49,130 that you have right now, and we're going to put $250 a month in, and we're going to increase that by 3% a year. Where do you think you might be after each of these time periods? Again, if you're 35 years old, you'd be 61, 63, 65, and 67. Maybe if you're a little bit younger and have these kind of amounts, we're gonna basically look at people in their 30s, from maybe age 30 to age 40 or so, and we're gonna see where somebody might be. We're gonna update this for every single year for the last 100 years, because that's what we do in this channel. We use the returns for the S&P 500. We're gonna look at both the good decades, the bad decades, and everything in between. Let's go ahead and run the numbers here real quick and see where you might be. Okay, here's how the numbers come out. Again, looking at the returns from 1925 on, where you'd be, for example, after 26 years. We got the 26-year graph showing you here. So it was a bumpy ride. Why? Because we had these down years during the Depression years. But you ended up, after 26 years, you'd have 784,921. Just go down through, you can see the graph changing. But notice what's happening inevitably. It starts out maybe slow, gets kind of bumpy, but look how it shoots up. So by the time you get to the 1929 numbers right here, which look how it started out, and yet after 26 years, you'd have 984,000. You can see the graph there, almost $1 million. So if the numbers going forward are as bad as the depression type years, look at the kind of money you could potentially have. The worst case scenario in this whole column is 647,000. The median in this column, again, this is for a 26-year period, beginning with this amount, putting in this amount, would be $1.1 million. And folks, obviously, the farther you go out, the more the compounding effect can help you. Look at these numbers going forward. Again, folks, we're starting out with just right here and just $250 a month, increasing that by 3% a year. We get out here a 30, 32-year column. Even in the worst case scenario, you have well over $1 million. The median is basically $2 million. We've actually got it color coded here for the 26-year row here. 63% of the time you get to $1 million, color coded in green. 16% of the time, color coded in blue, you actually get to $2 million. But you can see these color codes get better and better the farther you go out. So the sooner you can get these kind of amounts and get this $250 a month working for you, look at the kind of numbers you could have. Let's click on a 30-year here real quick. 30-year, 100% of the time you get to $1 million. Why? Because the worst case scenario is actually 1.2 million. The median is 1.8 million. 39% you're getting percent of the time you're getting to 2 million. 15% of the time you're getting to 3 million. Watch what happens when we go out to 32 years. Again, if we're looking at somebody that's 35 years old and has been able to save this up, which according to the Federal Reserve, that's the average. Of course, nobody has the average basically, but that's what the numbers show. Look at the numbers, folks. 100% of the time you get to $1 million. 77% of the time, color coded in blue, you actually get to 2 million. And 23% of the time, color coded in gold, you actually get to $3 million. That shows how little it takes if you can just get it in there and get it working for you. Love to see it when people have at least these kind of time periods ahead of them. So again, somebody in their 30s that can get to this kind of amount, that already has this kind of amount and can save just $250 a month. Let's just do one more thing here. Let's change a couple of numbers here. Let's look at that person. Man, I haven't been able to save a dime. What do I do? Obviously, you have nothing saved up. You need to do some major catching up. I'm running it at $400 a month, which would be 8% of somebody making 60,000. We ran the numbers here just to show you where you'd have to be. Let's look at the 26-year graph real quick. This is a 1925 numbers. The graph is right here. All these are going to show, if you're in it for the longer term, you're going to show this kind of return because it's starting to compound for you. It's a bumpy ride, but look where you ultimately end up. But let's look at this. The 26-year column right here, 35% of the time you get to a million. So you're going to have a hard time getting to a million if you don't have anything saved up. But if you save $400 a month, these are the kind of numbers you could have. The worst case scenario, 415,000. The median would be up to 819,000. Let's go out to 28 years. Somebody that's maybe 34, 35 along in there has 28 years. Now 52% of the time you're getting to a million. Again, color coded in green. How about 30 years? Say if somebody's 35, 36, long in there, has 30 years, 66% of the time you're getting to a million. 17% of the time, color coded in blue, you're getting to 2 million. There's actually 1% of the time you're getting to 3 million. But all these color coding show you the farther you go out, if you don't have anything saved, but you're still maybe in your early 30s, early to mid 30s, you can still make it. So these kind of numbers, again, the blue is over 2 million, the gold is over $3 million. This is saving $400 a month and increasing that by 3% a year. Don't give up. If you're in your 30s and haven't been able to save a dime, just get started. Try to get as much in as you can. If you can save, in this case, 8% of your salary, get it working for you. And look at the kind of numbers you can have. You want to be in at least in the greens. That's $1 million. But look in the blues and the golds, 2 million and 3 million. Again, it takes a little bit longer, but again, if you're in your mid 30s, you can do this. By age 67, you have these kind of numbers. But that's what we do on this channel. We love to run numbers for people. Please consider subscribing. Please share this with others and continue to come back and watch some of these videos. We cover all kinds of different perspectives here, concepts of what you really need to get a good handle on. Again, we've created dozens of spreadsheets and we just love showing them to people. Thanks so much for watching.